I crafted a handout that I hope y'all utilize. And I spent some time on it because for this team, I wanted to make sure I gave so much value that it's ridiculous that I don't work the show again next year. That's the goal. So I want to add to your guys' sales, and I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to work with y'all. Some of you guys have never worked with you before, and some of you guys have already worked with, so super grateful. Let's dive in. Service events. The way I look at it, if you look at my handout, service event basics, state fair of Texas, supposed to say. There's four main things that I look at as the basics of service events. Leverage your toolbox. Number one, leverage your toolbox. Number two is strategic promotion. We're all salespeople, so how we promote it. Proactive planning, and then systematic routine. And if you guys aren't excited about service events, these are just some of the whys that I feel service events is going to be a pillar to Cutco for decades to come. You get bulletproof loyalty, consistent service platform for customers. So you get consistent orders every year from past customers. You strengthen your personal Cutco brand. You add hundreds, if not thousands of clients to your database, whether they buy or not. I'm going to teach you a system that I use for that. This should be 100K additive layer to your business, if it's not already. Last year did 150,000 on service events, and I did 408 last year. This year I'm pacing for 530K, and I'm up 30%. So almost at 300K for the year. And almost 125 of that is service events. And that doesn't fire you up. I hope this message fires you up. What I also like about service events is that it utilizes a platform for you to try things, to try a new program or approach, style with engaging customers. It allows us to try different avenues in selling Cutco. It's more time out of Cutco because of how much we sell at the events. And then it's the pillar of the future of our service. It's where customers are going to expect it year after year, where they can go take the knife somewhere instead of us coming to them. And number one question we always get is, where do we get our knives sharpened? And now we have that solution. And every top CSP doing it, so you should be doing it too. So let's dive in. So leveraging your toolbox. One of the things I think is important is having a catchy, simple, easy to remember website that forwards to your scheduling website. So I use sharpeningevents.com, and I think I've heard getyourknivesharp.com, neveradallmoment.com. Think of something that you can brand your business with, and make sure you do that yesterday. So go to GoDaddy.com, buy a URL, and forward that website, really simple, to your scheduling website. If you need help with that, I'm happy to help y'all get that set up. But basically, every scheduling website has a platform landing page that you can forward that domain to. And if you guys are curious what mine looks like, go to sharpeningevents.com. And then make sure you make the event public. When you schedule each event, has a calendar, and make sure that the event is public, not private. So that way your clients can see it. And then here's the key, guys. Advance, advance, advance. You guys are running a business, not a hobby. You guys know when your major events are. You know what shows you're most likely going to work. So assume that you're working the same events year after year. So assume you're going to be doing service in the same time of year at the same locations every year. And then you can start training your customers to get service at these events. And when I think about the levels of communication, I think of all the ways that we can promote the platform. It's a new program, so people don't know about it. They don't know what they don't know. People are always curious about what's new, what's next, what they're missing out on. And like Matt referenced on his beautiful package message, is the customer needs to hear it 3 different times, 3 different ways. And I think the client needs to see the service event platform promotion 3 times in your marketing. So where can you do that? Business cards, how to use trifolds. That should be your new website, should be on there. It's on all my marketing material. It's on my Cutco portal website. Go to ourkniferep.com and you'll see service events. It's the first thing they see. Facebook business page, email signature, auto response. You'll see that the list goes on and on. Your stamper for receipts on the order form, your voicemail greeting, your direct mail advertising. I just sent out 4,300 service event flyers to go stuff into my catalogs for this year. So 4,300 people, whether I have a home number, a cell phone, an email, no email at all, they're going to know about the flyer and the program that's existing for my customers. And so I think y'all, it's worth spending $350, which is what I spent to get all that into my catalog. It's totally worth it. So utilize all levels of communication. And jumping into promotion, strategic promotion. I think the biggest thing that needs to happen is you need to create the idea that they're missing out, that they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing, that they are curious about what's new. And so I learned this from Curtis, creating a reaction, a sense of missing out. So these are some key phrases that I'll use at the booth anytime I'm talking to a customer. They say they've had their knife 10 years. It's like, well, hey, you all know you're supposed to get your knives sharpened professionally by Cutco every 2 to 3 years, right? It's just like an oil change for your car. Are you guys familiar with our new service platform where you don't have to mail your knives in and live without them for 2 to 3 weeks? I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but Cutco has a new program where we sharpen them locally on the spot multiple times a year in every area. Where are y'all located? And it's such a natural transition for them to want to know what that means. They're going to ask you more about that. And that's what's super real about creating the missing out experience, just using key phrases. And hey, I don't know if you know this, but instead of mailing the knife in yourself, we have a ship back service where we do it for you. Where are you located? How many of those people do we turn away with, here's how you send it in online, and then next year they come back and they did the same thing and they are asking how they do blank? Well, you're missing out on 500 people a year, y'all that work all those shows, that could be in your database. I'm super cool with someone not buying at my service event, having them become my customer because I mailed something in for them, and having them have the best-in-class experience. I'm okay with double booking a factory service appointment with someone that's wanting to see the new things. I'm totally cool with someone that's had Cutco 60 years and never had sharpened come to my event and have me ship it in for them. You guys think about the vision long-term, how many raving fans you're going to have and how many new customers you're going to actually gain because they got the experience that they haven't had for 60 years. You're basically re-enthusing new customers. And it's super cool when you can do that using our platform. And when I say the close, anytime you use one of those intriguing phrases, just say, where are you all located? Okay, cool. Well, we service that area multiple times a year on the spot locally. Now go ahead and jot down your info right here, and I'll make sure you get the info about our next event. And then I let them jot it down, and if I know the event next week or 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, I don't care. I'm going to offer a time for them, schedule them right on my website, right in front of them. And once they're scheduled, it's really simple. Hey, here's a screenshot of your appointment. You're going to get a reminder text and a reminder email. If you know anyone that has Cutco, bring them along. You'll actually get a free gift for helping them get service. This is the new program. We want to make sure we get the word out. And I literally send them a screenshot of their appointment on my phone to their text. And then I send my business card, the contact card. It says, Adam Cutco, not your one-night stand. Haha. And it's just super professional, super easy. And this is someone that bought from me at the show. This is someone that I've never worked with. It doesn't matter. They're all treated the same. And the referral let go approach is this. Hey, I just want to make sure, guys, that you bring everything Cutco, peelers, ice cream cube, cookware, everything you have. I want to make sure everything's in tip-top shape. And if we can't take care of it on the spot, we have a ship back service where you can get it replaced and repaired at the factory as well. Now, we will have a full display of Cutco, so feel free to check it out when you're there. And I'm not sure if you know anyone else that bought Cutco when you did, or that you gave Cutco as a gift to, or someone that you go to their house and their knives are just like really bad and you're like wondering how they cook. Well, the reason I ask is we have this new program that no one knows about. And so we're looking to get the word out. So if you know anyone and bring someone, you refer someone to the event, you get a free piece of Cutco on the spot. No pressure, no sales needed. We're very convinced that, you know, them coming in for service is going to rebrand their loyalty with Cutco. Who can we reach out to get the info to and try to get a referral? You know, and that's after you write up an order or after you schedule them. So I think referrals is a big layer that people are underutilizing when it comes to service events. You know, this is a new program, so we're trying to get the word out. Who else can I help out? You know, I'm a national rep, and my job is to provide service multiple times a year to multiple locations in the state. And some of the trigger phrases that I've started using recently and become more aware of how people are reacting is local on-the-spot sharpening program. One of my favorite questions is, hey guys, who's your rep that's sharpening your knife locally for you? And I assume that they have a rep that's sharpening their knife. A, it tells me how they're buying Cutco, so I can tell them what they don't have. B, I can honor the rep loyalty. But C, I can provide that expectation that there's a platform for local service. Hey guys, if you don't take advantage of our service program, it's kind of like buying a car where you get all the free oil changes and you just decide, hey, you know what? I'm just not going to utilize that. With Cutco, our motto is we want you to buy once, want you to buy American, and when it comes to service, we take care of it every 2 to 5 years. This is our new platform for that. Super excited that I can help you out today. I'll see you next Wednesday. Number 3, proactive planning. You know, the biggest reason people don't have full calendars, you know, I consistently work with CSPs that don't have full calendars, and it's because they're not planning their year in advance. You know, I know that in August, I'll be downstate Illinois. I know in June and September, I'm doing my key events in Illinois. I know in March and November, we're doing our week bliss as a team in Phoenix. I know that all my out-of-town shows in Arizona that are 4 or 5 hours from where I live, they get a service event. January, April, May, November, December. It's streamlined. It's a system. It's a process. It's simple. So how many traditional shows are you underserving annually? Assume you're going to work the show every year. How many shows merit a service event? Every show that's out of town merits a service event. So think about how many customers don't have a rep, that CSPs don't want to drive 2 hours to service someone. How many of those small towns you could be utilizing to add $100K to your business? Think it's worth it. Think it's worth driving for a one-day event, even if you don't do an event out of the area that often. Which events should you be doing alone, and which events should you be doing as a team? That should be part of your strategy. You know, 4 to 8 hour planning session is all you really need for the year if you're strategic about it. Think about what area is being neglected and do a service event there. Trust me, it'll be worth it. What month do you want to spike up your sales? You know, I use service events to spike up my slow month and my push periods. That's really the secret for me to grow my business is what area, what month am I not selling much at, and how can I add to that? Well, I'm going to do more service events. Really simple. Plug and play all the locations a year in advance into your Google Calendar and label them in the 3 to 4 a.m. time slot. In Google Calendar, my assistant knows what I'm doing that day in advance. So she knows if I need to book a service event, she knows if I need to set up Facebook, my events on Facebook, if I need to set up my calendar. And that's the last point is systematic execution. Running short on time, so I'll dive through this real quick. Every event, every time needs this execution. Every event, every time should have this execution. Delegate this to your assistant. Y'all have 2 big, busy lives where you should be doing this. This is easy money. So if you're not going to do it, delegate it, okay? That's the key. First is the routine for setting up an event. Book the venue in advance, 2 to 5 months in advance. Put it into the calendar. Have her do it. Have him do it. Make the event public. Change the time zone. These are all things that people miss out on doing all these events, create the event on Facebook. So once it's in your Calendly or Acuity account, create an event on Facebook page, create a list of customers in that area, save it in Fast Action, super easy, I love Fast Action. Do a 10, 20 mile radius. If it's a rural area, do a bigger radius. If it's an urban area, do a smaller radius. Those are guidelines that you can follow. And every service event, every time gets multiple communication, every time. So don't be the rep who markets to 40% of your customers. Be the rep that markets to majority of your customers every time. And so every event deserves 5 to 7 hours of paid admin time, from setting it up to texting customers to emailing to calling. So you're going to see that I do mass emails. That's about a half hour of assistant time. Plant the seeds in the monthly content email about your next event. Have your first email drop 10 days in advance and then a reminder 5 days. Utilize different subject lines. That's huge. The biggest difference for me this past year was scheduling has been individually texting clients, targeting the top clients for the area, the top 50, based on CBL number of orders, last order date, and having her personally text one-on-one a message to each client and then sending a mass text to the rest of the group, and identifying which people we don't have cell phones for and making sure we get that next time. And having that referral approach, focus. Just curious, who else do you know that has Cutco? No matter if they're interested or not. Who else do you know that has Cutco or should have Cutco? That's her response every time, whether they schedule or not, on the texting. So being proactive, 3-4 hours every event with texting is huge. It's not just mass text and never think about it again. That's the lazy way of doing it. You want different results, do things differently. Phone calls, text first, then call second. If you know it's a landline, then call them and double tap. Have her call. She likes the fact that she's only calling numbers half the time because the rest is text. She doesn't want to call the people, but she will target the top people and call them multiple times. I always tell her 10 people that I definitely, if they show up, the event twice is worth it. And I give her a bonus if she schedules one of those 10, because she's more motivated. And then my Facebook page has every event, every time, month in advance. So clients can like my page and know what's going on without looking at emails or text. People will schedule months in advance without me even promoting the event, other than it's on Facebook. And when you direct schedule, having all your calendar set up in advance makes your life 10 times easier. Hey, you know what? I won't be in your area until November. But let's go ahead and carve out a 30-minute window where you get your knives sharpened right on the spot. It's going to be at the Hilton on this street in this town. I'll send you a reminder text. Really simple. You guys get priority, by the way, before the public knows about it. People that I don't work with that have Cutco I meet at a show, you get priority first. I want to make sure you get your time slot and make it feel special. And my time is out, but you should have a post-event routine where your assistant color codes the schedule by if they showed, if they bought, if they didn't show, and if they need to reschedule. Half y'all could literally have half your next event in the same area scheduled with just knowing who didn't show. And I make sure that the assistant updates the Fast Action 2 weeks after every event with the emails and customers from each event. So all in all, no one slips through the cracks. Every time, you have her go through this 5-7 hour routine, and y'all have 15, 20 people at every event. So thanks, guys, for your time.